Hey, what's going on? Nick Unsworth here from Life on Fire TV, and we are scaling this mountaintop, and we're going to help you scale your business. I'm here with my man, Wesley Chapman. And
you going to be able to hold on there, man?
I hope so. We've also upped our game. We're scaling our studio abilities with this amazing green screen. So join us for Scaling Your Business with Wesley Chapman coming up.
Hey, what's going on? Nick Unsworth here, and I'm a kick-ass business coach, and I'm on an absolute mission to help you find your purpose in life, to help you love what you do for work every single day, to help you be the rock star that you are meant to be, to make more money than you ever thought was possible, and to have more time freedom so you can actually enjoy the life that you're living. I'm here to help you set your life on fire.
Woo! And we're back. Welcome. That was not easy. That was no easy task, and now that we've lost all
credibility for like our professionalism,
the cheesy graphics, but we're just trying to scale the business and scale up our game here with Life on Fire TV. So, welcome to the show. I've got my man Wesley Chapman, and we did just rock a Life on Fire TV episode where we not only dove into your story, but we dove into alignment and purpose, and there's some really actionable nuggets in there. So if you want to set your life and business on fire, definitely stay tuned and check out that show too. So lifeonfire.com, or just scroll through that app, the podcast app, find his other episodes. So just definitely make a note to do that. But today, tell us about what we got going on here today for Hump Day Q&A.
So you asked me a question that I get all the time about a human project, and the number one thing is scalability, right? Mm-hmm. Because obviously you've got my story, and I've got all these skill sets, but how are we going to replicate that? How are we going to touch millions of lives, not just a couple of lives, right? Mm-hmm. And I think so many people, especially in today's marketplace of solopreneurs and freelancers, they get that question like, I have this great idea, how am I going to scale it? I want to scale it so I can sit on a beach somewhere and make money.
Coaching, Nick, how the heck are you going to coach thousands of people?
Exactly, and it's like, well, there's ways to scale, and sometimes way too much focus is placed on scalability, and that's the number one question, and obviously I've got answers and solutions.
So let's dive in. So what do we got?
Well, first and foremost is that we're, for me in particular, I'm not building a mentorship program. I'm not looking to build another boys and girls club. I mean, that's not what it's about. We're teaching, So you talk about scalability for teaching. I mean, you know that, like online courses, e-courses, build platforms, exactly, where they can go in, and it's not just about me. Like, you and I are good friends, right? You're teaching how to live a life on fire and on purpose. Well, how do I know there's not some 16-year-old, or how do we know there's not a 16-year-old out there who wants to change their life and start a business, right? Yeah. Okay, so boom, you donate your service or your e-course or whatever it may be, and that leads them through the 4 pillars and through their life and through success. So that's how it's scalable, is by connecting with other people and bringing their content in to reinforce positive thought process and behaviors and education, and using social media. And I use that very loosely because I'm not married to any social media platform. I fully expect in 5 years people are going to be like, Facebook what? It's going to morph.
Things are going to change.
You ask a lot of youth right now, like, do you know what MySpace is? And they're like, what? Yeah, exactly. So, but scalability.
How cool was MySpace?
Yeah, it was. I mean, was the bomb.com, right, when it started. So, kind of kicked us into this world. But we're not married to any one particular thing, but we know the concept is that I can create a platform which then can influence millions.
So by platform, basically we're looking at, so whether it's like a YouTube channel, it could be, the iTunes podcast, or even, just to keep it simple, it's like you have an audio podcast that can go out on SoundCloud now, that can go out on Stitcher, it goes out on iTunes, or it's a video show that's on YouTube, iTunes, and it goes to multiple places. So basically it sounds like scalability comes from creating content and getting your message out there to the masses.
And the next level of that is accessibility, right? And that's the most terrifying part that's where people get like bottlenecked with scalability, is accessibility. It's like, well, you're only one person, you only have this, how are people going to be accessible to you? And look, technology makes your accessibility-ness, if that's a word, so much more powerful, because through training, through coaching, through all these different things, I can literally be in multiple places at once by having systems in place where it may not be like this kind of accessibility where I can touch you, but it's still a level of accessibility.
So leveraging, what would that be? Things like GoToWebinar, so that you can have a platform one-to-many.
Yep, exactly.
Leveraging
events, Spreecasts. There's all kinds of different things like that. But it's also taking the platform you've built, tweaking it and maybe building more Wes's, right? I'm not
Sure.
the only person that has a story. So how do you build people who are in alignment with your mission and your purpose and your idea and train them and go through things so that now they are another accessibility point, right?
And so let's tie that into it could be delegating, outsourcing,
Exactly.
and expanding. So
You got to lose control sometimes.
because that's one of the biggest things is that people, us entrepreneurs, we're all a little bit crazy, and we think things
Really,
like,
a little bit crazy.
we think things like, no one's ever going to do it as good as us, or
Yeah.
but what's funny
Or
is
they're not going to have the same idea or the same passion or whatever. Yeah.
and what's funny is that when you really step outside yourself, it's like, you know what, I stink at accounting, I stink at all these things, and you can find someone that's not only does it to your level, but better.
Yeah.
And so tell us about how things that you're doing and things that you can teach about how to delegate and outsource.
So especially, with what we're doing, and I think anyone who's like literally aligned and on purpose is going to have even a harder time delegating, because it's like no one understands, no one gets it, no one's going to be as passionate as
You
me,
didn't
right?
live that experience as to why we have the business we have.
Exactly. But what's so funny is that your passion is contagious. When you're literally on purpose, your passion and your purpose is contagious to people who have similar situations.
Sure.
So
you attract them.
Yeah. So when I first started this whole thing, this movement, my first idea, because of my background in training and sales and marketing, was I want to build an academy, right? A human project academy where I go out and find all these foster youth and people who have grown up and now have amazing jobs, and I'm going to teach them how to speak. I'm going to bring in, some of the guys like we know, like Greg Reed or Bob Proctor or Burnoff, and say, hey, you teach these guys all the skills on how to speak and tell your story and all this stuff. And everyone was like, no, you can't do that. That's like too far-fetched. Well, what ended up happening is my passion caught on to a few other people around the world. And I have one individual in Utah. His name's Ben. An amazing guy, amazing story, works at Fidelity, and just really cool guy. And he caught the bug. He caught the human project bug. And
it's going around.
yeah, it is. It's
Get your shots.
It's catchable. No, don't get your shots. Take
Don't
it.
get it.
Get sick.
You want the bug.
Yeah, you do.
It's actually a good bug, which is weird.
It's weird, right? So anyway, we could tangent. But anyway, so he, I double committed, right? Like I was in Utah doing an event, and the governor's office called me, which is a huge honor. And then they connected me with an event that was happening in Utah and said, would you come speak at it? And I'm like, yes, totally. And then I look at my calendar and I'm like, crap, I'm supposed to be in San Diego. This was Friday, their event. I'm supposed to be in San Diego Saturday morning. That's okay, I'll figure it out, right? Like I'll fly, I'll drive, I'll do whatever I need to do. And then I was like, wait a minute, this Ben guy. So I called him up and said, hey, would you mind speaking at this event? And doing it. He's like, I would love to. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to send you a video and a keynote. Tell your story, play the video, walk through the keynote, and you're good. And he's like, totally. We have a little call, train him up a little bit, which he didn't need much. He was a great guy. And then I literally forgot, right? Like, it's different time zone. So I'm doing something, and my phone rings, and it's him. And I'm like, why is he calling me? Like, weird. So I answer it, and I'm like, hey. And he's like, hey, what's up? I just wanted to tell you about the event. And I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, and I'm like, crap, I totally. But I let go of it. And what ended up happening is more youth came into the program. We got more volunteers. And he was just sharing the same message I was. So that's just like one example of letting go.
That right there totally just sparked a little something, because I think that when you're truly 100% in alignment with what you're here on this earth to do and the movement you're here to build, or living out your purpose or your calling, whether it's your God-given purpose or it's just whatever you believe in, you're following that. And again, this is like the tie back to the Life on Fire TV episode we did where we dig into purpose and alignment. But I feel like when you're in that alignment, the scaling actually gets a lot easier because you're attracting the right people. So in your case, because of your passion, because it's become public and you're attracting someone that has a similar vibration, a similar story to you, that makes it delegatable. Versus someone, if you're not in alignment, it's harder to attract the right people and it's harder to delegate and scale. And in my case, it's like with Life on Fire, I mean, just imagine that, my platform is this show. My platform is giving cool content first, interviewing great, guests and speakers. But then how do I scale my coaching? And what's interesting is just this past week, I was like, I really want to scale our top tier program because I have the most demand at the $36,000 level. But they're buying me. And I'm like, well, how do I scale that? And it was like, this just sparked, well, maybe I need to have more people that are like me. And what's interesting is I had a guy reach out last week, very similar story to mine. And very similar background, internet marketing, like you name it to a T. And I'm like, holy crap. This is the first time I think I can clone myself and set it up where we can bring this guy on and make him a big part of our whole program.
Right.
But that would never have happened if I wasn't vulnerable, share my true authentic story, be transparent, and then be living my purpose and my mission. And then that guy popped up. So I feel like scalability, people always come back to delegation or little outsourcing techniques or VAs or things like that. But really, I think what I'm gathering out of this is it's actually your alignment in living your purpose attracts the right people. You got someone to speak on a stage and be Wes for a day because his story was somewhat similar.
Yeah. And he was in line with the purpose, right?
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're selling shampoo or dog treats. Like that is definitely where everyone gets worried. I mean, I just had a buddy who his girlfriend, right, is in the health product industry, and she just got a $200,000 order, right? Like most of us would be, if you sell product, you're like $200,000 order, sweet.
It's a lot of skin cream.
Yeah, she's freaking out because she's in a position where she's like, I can't scale this, I can't do it. And I was like, okay, so tell me what you have going on. What are your problems? What's going on? Tell me what your mission is. And by her doing that, I said, have you ever told anybody why you're doing what you're doing? And she's like, no, I just make this stuff.
I keep it myself.
Except, I mean, like, of course, like what she's doing, but I mean, like why she's doing it and what she's trying to accomplish. And she's like, no, I just sell the product. And I'm like, okay, well, by you telling me what you are looking for, what you're trying to accomplish, what you want. I have 5 people right now tomorrow that can be in your kitchen, right? Like, because she's doing it out of her kitchen. They can be in your kitchen, standing right next to you, helping out, and they'll stay till 2 o'clock in the morning and get this order out for you. Not because you'll pay them, which obviously she would, but because your mission and what you're trying to accomplish in the health industry is right in line with what they're trying to do. And if they can help you grow, they help themselves grow and their own mission. So like, bam, if you don't put it out there, why,
You know what? This is creating another spark. And
we should have like sparks going on like back here, like
fireworks. Not the Katy Perry style, like, which would be really weird right now. Now that we have the green screen, we can do anything we want. But the spark is that with being in the alignment with your purpose, it's like not only are we attracting the right people into our lives, but it's creating this momentum where you can scale it to a different level, a different degree. And it's just interesting. I just feel like, it's like what I said before, alignment or with outsourcing. It's like we always think of those little tactics, but it's the alignment of attracting the right people to us, and it's just such a different spin, different way to look at it. So,
and I promise you'll attract the right accountants, the right lawyers. Everyone will be right, when they know what's happening. And I've had this happen multiple times. I mean, it's not a one-time occurrence just because I'm doing a for-purpose business or anything. I mean, it even in like when I was looking for graphic designers, like when they knew what our goal was as a marketing firm and as an advertising company, we never had a problem. And yet I hear so many companies are like, I can't find a good graphic designer. And I'm like, there's 7 billion people on the planet and half of them are artists and the other half, are really good artists. So there's a plethora of people that are talented to do what you need to do. You're just not expressing it. So then you get scared and you don't want to scale. And I mean, it's just, and then you're sitting there going, why isn't my business growing? And it's just vicious cycle, right?
It's a vicious cycle. And you know what else is funny is that second point I just made there. When I did the Katy Perry thing, I totally forgot what I was going to say. So I kind of just talked for a second and it really made no sense. But the spark that I had that I forgot to say.
We need a credibility meter. I've decided. It just needs to keep going.
That I kind of did this round robin if you roll the tape back. But what I was going to say that I forgot is that when you're not only in alignment, but when you have an actual movement, it attracts the right people to you that will do the things that allow you to scale. So it's like my team member Ryan, the guy, didn't feel like he had the purpose and passion with what he was doing with an online business. He heard what our mission with Life on Fire, and he wanted to be a part of it.
To the mission.
And we've had people that want to work with us or work for us because of the mission.
Yep.
So if I think as a big takeaway from this episode is when you have a movement, you have a mission like ours, you're gonna attract the help to scale, and that's all the reason in the world that no matter what your business is, add purpose to it, create a movement, create a mission. Don't just make money. Truly have a movement behind your business and take that stand and go towards it, because that's where things are going to flood into your life. That's where you're going to be in alignment, and that's where you're going to have that business and life on fire. So
yeah, and I agree. I mean, I don't care if you're selling dog treats. Like, you've got to say why you're doing it. You know, if you're doing it to create a lifestyle where, you know,
maybe you really love puppies.
Yeah, so you've got to say it. You've got to put it out there, because then you'll attract people. And if you're not looking for other people, then that's a different story, and you're not worried about scalability, and this whole episode was a waste of time. So, you know, but if you are, that's what you need.
Awesome. Well, hey, this has been great. Awesome. And guys, I just want to also say that...
What are we going to do here?
We're gonna pound. We're gonna blow it up. Get some more fireworks going so I don't lose my train of thought. Just note to self, fireworks like this, just short circuit something in there. But at the end of the day, lifeonfire.com. Grab the show notes here, connect with Wes, and then also be sure to check out the episode from Life on Fire TV. Yeah, where we drill into the story and we drill down into how to find your purpose alignment and all kinds of tangible strategies that you can use and implement in your business. So lifeonfire.com, and hope you're having a great day. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. Thanks.
I'm here to help you set your life on fire.